Hello, good morning. Thank you for watching the MITV Plus News and, of course, transiting into the Breakfast Express show. Good morning. It's time for us to have breakfast. We would like to welcome you. But, of course, not before we apologize for the slight technical hitch that didn't let us end, properly our morning news. So, yeah, but don't worry. We're going to always make up for, little hitches here and there. My name is Tom Aderele. It's a delight to welcome you to the breakfast table this morning. Welcome to having breakfast. We're going to have a three-course meal this morning, and we don't want you to miss any bit of it. So, just sit back, relax, while we're at breakfast, you have your cup of coffee, and, we will talk over breakfast. It's good to know that Okwe didn't go through the rain. I went through the rainstorm coming from Lekki. Okwe was coming from the other side of town, and he came in, looking very dry and very, with his signature on his head, his cap. Okwe, I'm delighted to have you here this morning. Good morning and welcome.
It's a pleasure. More than 66 days to the general election, 9 days to the governorship election in Osun State. And yesterday, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, locked or blocked or posted a no credit seal on one of the accounts of the Osun State government. And it has raised a lot of conversation about that. I'm sure that the headlines would report that story. And then we'll have our correspondent join us from Osogbo, the state capital of Osun State today, to give us updates as we continue to build up to the August 15th governorship election in Osun State. It's a big show today, as always, and it's a Thursday. Welcome to join us, and we say thank you for always paying attention to us.
All right, so we'll take our usual break, and when we return, there'll be so much more, much more than Okwe has already highlighted. So, I just want you to please stay tuned, don't touch that dial, and we will be expecting your calls to come in once we settle into the program. Welcome again, and please stay tuned. You're welcome back. We apologize. I think there was a mix-up. We were taking the wrong newspaper. That was an outdated one, one that we have already analyzed on the table. So apologies from our end. And then now we will take today's Punch newspaper. And the above the nameplate of that, Tinubu hails military as 308 Kwara Niger abductees rescued. Well, the funny part is that it kind of tallies with what we read before, because I'm sure if President Donald Trump sees the figures right here, I'm sure he's going to congratulate our president again. So, yeah. All right. The banner headline for the Punch newspaper, MBA faults EFCC as Osun account freeze sparks row. Now, the writers for that story, opposition accuses federal government of using EFCC to weaken Adeleke 10 days to government governorship polls. Election timing irrelevant. Suspicious transfers forced Osun account freeze, says EFCC as Osun governor kicks. The final writer for that story, MBA lawyers insist EFCC must obtain court order before freezing government account. Well, this when I read this news yesterday, I was kind of appalled. It was expected, not because it was right, but because that's the way we go, that's the way we roll in Nigeria. When it is time for election, those who think they have all the control, may want to do and undo, may want to flex their muscles, may want to use their powers, especially if it is an opposition party. And, I was expecting all manner of things, and I had said it here on the table. I'm sure this is not coming as a surprise to anyone, because we have analyzed in advance, that a lot of things will unfold, during the elections. And, Osun State is like a testing ground, because it's just a couple of months away from, the general election. So whatever we see happen in the Osun State elections will be like a minute, a minute part of what we expect to see during the general election. So it's left for Nigerians to brace up. I won't do an in-depth analysis because I have Kweyemi Akiode sitting right beside me, and who would be a better person to dissect this particular headline. Kweyemi?
So I was at work yesterday when I saw the story. I had to reach out to a friend of mine in Osun, like, what's going on? And I said, that they just found out that the FCC had sealed an account that belongs to the state government in, First Bank.
But we're going to be getting reports from our correspondent today.
So there were a lot of rumors, and you look at the timing of it, 10 days to election. You look at some of the calls of the state government. I played a video yesterday. I posted a video yesterday where the Osun State governor directly called out President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the rally in Ede over the weekend, where he said, President Tinubu, I'm sending this message to you. Leave Osun people alone. We have endorsed you for president. What else do you want? This and this and that. He even called out the former governor of the state, Oyetola, saying that he's the one that should be called to order. So when the news broke that EFCC had actually sealed the account, we knew that, okay, this could be more political than what we expected. So there were a lot of rumors flying out. In fact, there were screenshots saying that, now the state government was already distributing 20,000 into people's accounts, calling it palliative, this and that. So a few hours after, the FCC official Twitter handle released a statement, and every other communication platform, including their website. And so they released a statement trying to, explain the reason they froze the account. So let me pick a few paragraphs from it. He said the EFCC is compelled to publicly address issues pertaining to its preventive moves in freezing the bank account of Osun State government without prejudice to the imminent governorship election in the state. They said the commission has been busy investigating the Osun State government since March 2026 regarding alleged fraudulent handling of ecology funds, intervention fund, and federal account allocation committee, that's FAC, account to the tune of 11 billion. To this end, some officials of the state government, especially the accountant general of the state, have had interview sessions with investigators of the EFCC. So they went on to, express that why they posted the no debits, this and that. And they said that they've also been suspecting different suspicious accounts since August 2nd, 2026. So that's why they posted a no debit order on the account. But for the precipitate and unwarranted movement of funds from the accounts to different suspicious accounts since 2nd of August 2026.
But why is it coming now? Okay?
And so
that's my point. Why is it coming now?
The timing of it is what everyone is questioning. And because if it were to be other senior clients, like they would always say, it won't be a problem.
You know why? Why it may be a problem. Why it may be a problem is because, first of all, this is opposition. Secondly, have we never heard of this kind of things happen in Nigeria, even at different levels? Come on, let's look at it objectively. What I'm saying,
that if it were to be other countries where we don't mix politics with anti-corruption, it won't be a problem. I can pick up a candidate on the eve of an election.
Okay, I agree with that.
But because we know, and the president has said that all is fair in politics.
Exactly.
It means that you can use whatever you have to get whatever you want. So they've done their official responsibility by explaining why they froze the account. But again, you can also rule out the possibility of the fact that, listen, if you are freezing a state government account that have had issue with local government. Remember, there are two parallel local governments in Osun.
Yeah.
One belonging to the PDP, the other one belonging to the APC. And it seems the one belonging to the APC is one having access to the funds of the state. Do you understand?
Yes.
There are issues within the NURTW in the state. In fact, the chairman of INEC paid a 5-day working visit to Osun State. He just left a few days ago. And he made it clear that, listen, we've heard all of your problems. We're going to make sure that we supply additional beavers, additional card readers, so that there won't be issue around glitches and all of that. In fact, they highlighted some of the troublemakers in the NURTW, and then they banned them from getting involved in the upcoming election. So it is difficult to expect that this is actually a coincidence that, we closed the account 9 days to the election, because the timing of the investigation, it is tough, because we have a system where people, people exhibit different level of institutional rascality.
Exactly.
Just to pay to the, or just to dance to the tune of their paymasters. I'm not accusing the FCC. Neither am I saying that they are also, a want of anything you can put on them. But they've released that statement. But how many people would validate this statement? You could have closed this account 1 month ago, 2 months ago. In fact, you could have closed the account immediately after the election if the state government loses the election and the PDP wins the election, so that there won't be an unusual transfer of funds into the state. But again, even if they lose an election, they will still administer the state from now to the handover. So what exactly is going on?
I don't know what.
And they now close the salary account itself.
Well,
how much is Osun State earning that you close an account that has 11 billion?
Well, I don't know what is going on, but this is not, the timing is not good. I think it's quite insensitive, and just tells you that anybody can do anything anytime, because all is fair in politics. But let's look at the broader picture. We need to be careful. If people's livelihood depends on the account that they have closed, and you say it's a non-debit account, they cannot debit, then there may be a problem in Osun State very soon. And I know that right now nobody cares about whose ox is God, as long as the party that wants to wins. I think we should put a human face to all of this. It's very important that we do put a human face to all that's going on right now. Okay, still on the Punch newspaper. Fake agency probe. Adeyemi rejects closed door rep quiz. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what I feel about this. But again, if you investigated or if you interviewed everyone else that you invited openly, why are you doing closed door screening with the Mbatu DG? You had members of the Nigeria Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You had members of the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, Office of the Government of the Federation. You had all of those people, come openly testify or answer questions from the House of Reps ad hoc committee. But now you want to interview the main man, the man in the eye of the storm, and the suspended DG or the embattled DG or the arrested or the detained DG, whatever name you want to choose to call him. Then you want to do it behind closed door. We don't want closed door. In fact, I don't even want anything closed door, because whatever comes out of that closed door, I could be open to unnecessary scrutiny. Let us see. When they were interviewing and investigating other people, we saw it. It wasn't done behind closed door. That's why they call it, it's an ad hoc open hearing. It's an open investigation. You are not even investigating. You're only asking questions. Then whatever your findings are, you forward it to the relevant security agencies. Do you understand? So why do you accept that is a suggestion? Remember, there were concerns about the fact that maybe the Inspector General of Police did not want to release Prince Adeni, the embattled Adeni Adeyemi. So maybe that's the agreement that the police and the House of Representatives ad hoc committee is having, that, okay, you know what? We don't want to expose him to the public. We don't want him to face unnecessary pressure. Let us have a session with him behind closed door. Except that is what the Nigerian police is suggesting. Do you understand? But if this is what the House of Reps ad hoc committee is suggesting to the embattled DG, there is a problem somewhere. Remember, one of the main names that's still going along this investigation was the former speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Gbajabiamila, now the chief of staff to the president. And you know how this comradeship thing works. You understand? When we see former senators appear on the floor of the House to be screened as ministers, and they'll tell them to take a bow and leave. Where former governors have been nominated as ministers, they'll come to the floor of the Senate and they'll tell them to take a bow and leave, forgetting the fact that the ministerial responsibility is different from a senatorial and a governorship responsibility.
And my point is this, Okwe, the committee closed their investigation at a particular point without having him, being investigated.
They had a time.
Yeah. Oh, I know they had a time frame, and they since that had been closed, what I think that they should have done was to have an open quizzing session with him, so that people can see the same way that every other thing was done, so that there's enough transparency in all of that, what they're doing. But if that's not happening, the man has a right to reject, closed door quizzing, because he needs everybody to hear what he has to say. Because the truth is that, if they, or when this quizzing is concluded, whatever report they give to us, we have to take hook, line, and sinker,
Of course.
because nobody is there. I mean, so it's whose word against whose word, really. I think fair is fair, and I think the man should be given a fair chance, to express himself. That's not concluding anything, but I'm saying that fair is fair. All right, still on the Punch newspaper, WAEC results reveal 38.5% failed 5 key subjects. That's not surprising, because your standard of education has dropped so badly that they have to even reduce the cutoff
For JAMB.
For JAMB, and reducing the cutoff for JAMB tells us that the students' productivity has been on the decline, and that it's not a funny thing. It's something that one needs to really go back to the drawing boards and re-strategize about, because education is not a scam. It is very important to have a formal education. So we all know that to be educated does not necessarily mean that you have to sit in a classroom, but to be formally educated,
Of course.
you must sit in a classroom, you must sit within the four walls, and there is a structure. There are procedures and processes that one needs to go through, and all of these things are always beneficial to individuals, to societies, to communities, to countries, and all of that, to the development, in every way. So, I think it's something that Nigerians need to focus on. We always say that one of the priorities, for the president should be education. It's one of the things that he should be looking at seriously, to ensure that, through the states and local governments and the federal government, that this is executed to the best of their ability. Because if we're looking at 38.5% students failing WAEC, the 5 key results, I'm sure English, mathematics, maybe physics,
Yes, physics,
chemistry, and biology.
If they're doing sciences.
It's really not a good thing. We need to refocus, and these are some of the things we spoke about when we had the senior special advisor to
Join
the
us,
Minister of Education join us on the 29th of May. Was some of the things that we discussed. I mean, I think they need to up their game, and nobody is saying they're not doing well. Kudos to the current Minister for Education. I think he's doing well. Is that Lausa? Yes, yes. I think he's doing well. He has brought some new reforms, that I think will work better than what we had before.
Yeah, because
but he, still all the same, I think a lot more needs to be, done to ensure that students are being taught properly. And it's not just about teaching; it's about understanding. I'll give you an example. When my children were growing up, I used to say to them, "Listen, we are paying for your education. Therefore, we need to get value. We need to get the service that we're paying for. And the only way we can get that service is by you insisting that you understand what your teacher teaches. So whereby you do not, what we expect you to do is raise your hand and ask your teacher what it is that you don't understand." And I remember going for one of the open days in my children's school. I went to my daughter's class, and the teacher said, "I hope there's no problem." I said, "Oh, she's doing very well. She always comes first. But the problem we have with her is the fact that, she's always asking questions." I said, "Don't you think it's a good thing?"
Is that supposed to be a problem?
I said, "Don't you think it's a good thing to ask questions?" I said, "Okay, by the way, I must tell you that I said to her, that the class cannot go on if she doesn't understand what you're teaching. She has to ensure that she stops the class until she understands. That means that she's getting value for the money that her parents are paying." You see, so it's important. You see, it's a two-way thing. It's not just about teaching, but ensuring that what you're teaching is being understood by the students. And this is the communication process. You know, there is a process of communication, and the feedback part of it just tells you that, okay, communication has been effective. It's not about being effective. It can be effective, but it has to be effective. And that's where, you know, I think that that the education ministry needs to focus on.
Well, I think a lot of credit also needs to go to the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa. He's done an amazing job. I've always questioned how outdated and archaic our educational curriculum has always been over the years. You know, minister just comes in, they don't even care to check what we have. Some of the literature books that we are using, they've used them over the years. You know, and the moment the minister came up on board, you would know that he's up to something. Obviously, one of the ministers, and you know, because in Nigeria here, we always know how to gauge people based on physical performance. So we think, oh, there's Olubumi Tunji Ojo somewhere, there is what's his name, Dave Umai somewhere, you know, there's this and this somewhere. If you look at the reforms that is going on currently in the Ministry of Education, then you would appreciate what the Minister of Education has been doing. You know, there's been a lot of changes, there's been reforms, even our educational system, the 433. So there seems to, is it 433? 633. I was beginning to bring in the football time. 633, primary, junior, and senior secondary school. So there seems to be a lot of changes right now. And you know, yes, we're not where we want to be, but when you look at certain baby steps, and then you look at the consolidating moves that are being made to back it up, then you understand that we may be heading towards the right direction. So I'm very positive. And I also hope that we can sustain some of the reforms that we're having currently within the educational ministry, or within the educational setup in Nigeria. I think we can actually check other newspapers as well.
No, we haven't finished. We're not done with the Punch newspaper. So the final story here is bus preaching ban threatens religious freedom, and that's coming from the PFN. I don't quite understand what they mean. Can you break it down for me? Not because I don't understand. Not because I don't understand, but I'm trying to understand what they mean.
So a few weeks ago,
I know that.
National Assembly.
I know that.
Exactly.
I know that. So, but what I'm saying is that why would they say it is threatening religious freedom? I don't understand that.
The public transport is there religious.
It's not a It's not a church.
You know.
So what are you talking about?
You know, because of how overly religious sensitivity in this country,
being extremists,
certain things that should not even be misinterpreted have been
misinterpreted.
There are times you're in the public transport, you've had a long day.
So much noise pollution.
You're tired, and this is not to cast anything on any religion. Let's get it straight. But I'm in a public transport, and I've had a long day.
You want to have your peace.
Tired.
You want to
maybe the only rest. And I'm going home to meet another wala. Maybe the only time
that you have to rest
is that short period. Or I've even had a bad night, and I'm going to the work in the morning, and then there's traffic everywhere. I'm trying to move around with the hustle and bustle of Lagos, and then somebody stands up and then begin to, you know, cause issues and noise. You cannot, if you pick calls in the public transport where either they're selling stuff or they're preaching, and you tell them to reduce their voice, they will look at you and, oh, you're an enemy of progress. For goodness sakes, people find rest anywhere. Don't.
Exactly. Helen?
Yeah, good morning, my sister.
Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Express Show. You are our first caller on the program today. What's your name, sir?
This is from Abuja.
From Abuja. Okay, please make your contribution.
Yeah, my sister, you people. Thank God will bless you people.
Amen.
I love this your station.
Thank you.
My sister, I don't know where to start from. See, the Minister of Education is trying, but he's not trying enough. Why I say he's not trying enough? If you go to the schools, you can't believe that this school is from Nigeria compared to other countries where children are studying. Talk of the roof, talk of the environment. Like, I don't know where are we going to start from. the Minister of Education need to do the right thing. Because where the children are learning is not good. And another one, if you talk of the environment, when you go to school, at least the school needs to be fenced. But if you go to some schools, they are not well fenced. That is why you are seeing all this bad thing happening. Because if the school are well fenced, before people will get access to the school, at least the security agencies will be informed, and at least they will get there before these people will do anything. That is the most important thing. Our leaders should make sure they equip our education very well, because education is the key of life, and that is why you are having all these challenges and problems. Because most of these people are doing all this kidnapping and this and that. They are not educated. Really, they are not educated. Because if you are educated, before somebody will force you to do all this, you will tell the person no. Even if I am not saying really they are the one doing. Even if our people or our leaders are having hands in all these people, calling them to come and join all this kind of thing, you will tell them no, Oga, no, you can't do that, because most of them are not educated. That's why you are seeing them doing all sorts of nonsense. Yes. And another one, my sister. Last time we were talking of roads in Nigeria. Our roads are too bad. Not only Lagos. Just from this Abuja, if we are traveling from Abuja here, let's say from Zuba, because you know Zuba, you people have been hearing Zuba. If you are traveling from Zuba to Port Harcourt or to Edo or to Delta, you find it very difficult. There is no road. And government are still awarding roads. And the old ones we have, they have not completed it. And they are awarding, look at the coastal highway they awarded for how many billion. If you go there and nothing has been done, you are still awarding road. And the one you have on ground, you have not done anything on it. How can we continue living like we are living? If I look at our leaders, I look at they are educated, and the way they are leading this country, I can't say they are being educated, because educated man or educated father, you can't be doing all this kind of thing you are doing. Go to other countries, see the way they face their country, they face everything in their country working perfectly. That's how to know people that are well educated. If you're educated, you see how you will be putting your things in order. Nothing is working in Nigeria. We are shouting. We are not talking of bandits. See the way bandits are killing people, and nobody is showing concern of it. And you are a leader in Nigeria.
Yeah, I understand. I feel your pain, sir. We will address this issue. Concerning the roads, there's some good news,
No road in Nigeria.
But,
there is no road.
You
can't tell me there is road in Nigeria. No road.
We understand where you're coming from, but there is some good news. There is some progress concerning some roads that we focused on recently. Just keep watching the program. We will respond to your comments, and thank you for watching MITV Plus. Yes, so you were talking about the education minister. Let's just wrap up on that.
Yes. I just keep saying that more needs to be done.
Yes.
Our truth is this: there are communities in this country that when it rains, the kids are told to stay at home. Because there are communities in this country where they still take lectures under the tree. There are communities in this country where students, people sit on the floor, on blocks. There's nothing. Do you understand? But because the structures have been so dilapidated, so bad over the years, that I'm not sure if all of this can be changed over time. And at the end of the day, we have to just find a way to work around something.
Yeah, so yes, what we're saying is that the education minister has done well. Oh, sorry, is
He's
doing
doing
well.
well. Mm.
You know, but he's not there yet. So we need to keep bringing it to his attention that there's still so much to do. I always say that I went to Federal Government College, and that's directly under his, his portfolio. And I know that we're not there yet, because the stakeholders, have to put hands together to ensure that things, are better, than they actually are. So yes, the Federal Ministry of Education needs to do a lot, and that's under the minister's portfolio. All right. Yes, looking at education, it ties into roads, it ties into everything, but it is work in progress. It is work in progress. We need to be conscious of the time, because we have so much to do today. He talked about roads. We talked about roads yesterday. We talked about roads day before yesterday. We talked about roads last week. I talked about the Ozumba Mbadiwe Road yesterday, and I said, for a road in Victoria Island, a major road in Victoria Island, to be like that is a huge shame. It's a huge shame. In Victoria Island, we're talking about a highbrow area in Lagos. So what hope do the people of what do you call it, Amukoko
Or
Ayobo or Kirikiri, what kind of
What
hope do they have?
What should they expect?
What should they expect if that kind of thing is happening in Victoria Island on a major road? It's a huge problem, and I think the eyes of those who are in charge should focus on these roads that are bad. Okay, we have another call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
What's your name, sir, and where are you calling from? Welcome to the show.
Good morning as well, okay?
Good morning.
Okay.
This is Toye from Okiaru.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, I'm your regular.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Madam, this thing that you are talking this morning, I believe you are sound, you are eating very well.
Okay.
You know the reason I'm saying this?
I'm listening to you, sir.
Nigeria issue is not something that should be bothering anybody again. I will not lie to you. If you travel abroad, their lifestyle, they don't even need anybody to help them. Everything is in places. You don't need anybody to help you. You don't need to call family. But here, tomorrow, today, yesterday, everything, nothing.
Oh my God, very sad.
Okay, freezing a two-state account is for what? Since 1999, did you hear it that they have probed any governor in Lagos State?
So we're going to have a comprehensive report on that, because we have a correspondent in Osun State who we're going to put live on the line. He's going to give us all the details, all the questions that we need to ask. We will ask him, so just stay tuned. Keep watching the program. We will ask him questions, and I'm sure that certain questions that you also want answers to, you will get. So don't about that. We will handle that.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for watching the program. All right. Yeah. He said I have to have eaten that, because we shouldn't let Nigeria's problem disturb us anymore. But we don't have a choice.
We have to talk about it.
Well, it's not even about us. It's about people. We're feeling the pain, the pain that a lot of people are feeling even worse off, and then we have to bring it to the fore. I said we have some good news for you. You see, when we bring these things, sometimes we think nobody is listening, but they are. They are. You will hear the good news as we go along. So let's keep talking about it. We have to keep talking about it. That's why we are earning a salary. That's why we're being paid, to talk about these things, to bring it to the fore. We can't be collecting salaries and not doing the job.
We are still talking about it. They are still turning deaf ears.
Deaf ears.
So imagine when we are not talking about it.
What will
imagine
happen?
if we are not quiet. If we are talking about that, is why a minister can can get angry on TV and say if he has gone, he will have shot a journalist. Because sometimes the things we say doesn't always sit down well with them.
To them. Yes.
But that's the fact, because we are not on the line of, sycophants as praise singers that will continue to lead them and hail them on. Our job here is to pick the stories, highlight everything you need to know about the stories, and we're not partisan. So we don't have a choice. Sometimes it can be draining, no doubt about that.
It drains us.
Wake up, and then you look at all of those, and I'm like, can we just, I think last week though, I was so tired that.
No, it wasn't last week. It was yesterday.
Even last week, I had to make a post that, can we just get some real good news in this country? Like, can I just get through the pages and I'm not seeing 25 people kidnapped in Plateau, 19 people abducted in Nasarawa? Can we just say, oh, today, all the bandits surrendered. All the papers gave us good news. For those of us on this side, that they have to go through all of the papers as early as 5 and 6 a.m. so that we can do this. It is draining.
It is draining.
Mentally draining, physically draining, emotionally draining. But every single day, we are committed as a fourth estate of the realm. We are committed to make sure that we guide you alongside making informed decisions about governance and accountability.
You don't want to see the large flasks of water that we carry with us, because it is actually physically draining. Like you said, like you rightly said, have I eaten? Yes, it is physically draining, but we have to do this. We must be our brother's keepers on the one side. On the other side, we are professionals, and this is our job to do. All right, we'll be rounding up the Punch newspaper right now and moving to the Guardian so that we can, do other things. We have a couple of reports to give. Okay.
Yes.
You want to do the Guardian?
Let's quickly rush through what the Guardian is giving us this morning. Okay. Apologies, give me a second. I have Vanguard there. I was already going through the Vanguard.
Okay, so we can do the Vanguard.
Let me touch Guardian.
I just thought Guardian is your favorite.
Yeah, it's my favorite. And of course, there's a story that our correspondent would also still join us on the show. But let's quickly make a short trip to Oyo State. Oyo APC pushback on Makinde's criticism of Tinubu's economic reforms. Federal government orders measures to protect health workers nationwide. Thank you. Maybe we'll not see weekly threats of doctors wanting to go on strike.
Yeah.
Dangote Refinery cuts petrol ex-depot price by 50 naira and diesel by 80 naira. And that's on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. Osun 2026, the banner headline: Adeleke APC breaker over fraud, votes buying plots and intimidation. Adeleke APC breaker over fraud, votes buying plots and intimidation. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about Osun much later. Tinubu loud rescue of 308 kidnapped victims, 6 enhanced security. Okay. A federal government seeks renewed pact with faith leaders as Obi Kwakwaso backs Onayekon. A federal government seeks renewed pact with faith leaders as Obi Kwakwaso backs Onayekon. 4 oil firms grow profit by 185% in H1 as revenue hits 5 trillion.
Sorry, can we go back to the last story?
Yes, the federal government seeks renewed pact with faith leaders. Yes.
Why are they seeking a renewed path?
Okay, so there's a raging, I don't want to say war, between the handlers of the presidency's information,
yes,
and then the Council of Catholic Bishops,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So last week, the Council of Catholic Bishops paid a visit to the president.
But we discussed this.
Yes, I just want to give like a little back end into where we are right now. And then the presidency released the video of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes.
And then on Friday, the retired cardinal of the Archbishop of Abuja Diocese, Cardinal John Onayekon, was on TV.
Yes.
And then he talked about the body language of the president. He talked about this and that. And then the handlers of the presidency replied that the bishops are abusing clerical privileges.
That's where I wanted us to take it from, because we discussed it yesterday.
Yes, that they are abusing clerical privileges. Do you understand? Even some Nigerians are saying that the president should stop listening to religious leaders. And I'm shocked. When you want to run for political office, you run to place of worship. You go to kneel down. They place their hand on you. They pray for you. They do everything. But they cannot ask you questions about governance.
My question right now is that why are they asking for a renewed pact? They have messed up the opportunity that they had. This man said to you, you need to govern the people better. And that was not a malicious statement. That was a statement of facts. That was a statement speaking the voices of the people. He was presenting to you, that which he expected, the path that he expected you to tread, such that you would gain, the support of the people, such that the people of Nigeria would be happy, whether they were Muslims, whether they were Christians, whether they were Northerners, Southerners, it didn't matter. He was just telling you, the things that he needed you to understand. And in response, what did your people say?
They said he's abusing.
I won't say what did your people say. What did you say? Because when your people speak,
they speak
you
on
speak.
your behalf. Exactly.
And that is a statement of fact. So when your senior special advisors, when your press people speak, they speak on your behalf. We say that the president has spoken. I mean, a man comes to you, with open arms, and then you push him away in public. And then you now go back and say you're seeking renewed. That's the question. That's why when I ask questions like that, you should understand that I already know the history. I don't need the history. I'm making reference to something. It's a sarcastic statement, a sarcastic question to say why are they coming back? You were the one who said good night and goodbye forever. Why are you coming back? How come you know the way to my door again? We need to be careful when we communicate. And Okpe and I have constantly criticized the way that, communication comes forth from the presidency. And not just only the presidency, even Okpe said it on the table yesterday. I said it on the table yesterday. The Senate, the president himself, we need to watch how we communicate. You have messed it up, and then you're now coming out and reaching a hand of fellowship. Well, perhaps because he's a man of God, he's a man of the Spirit, he's a man who fears Mother Mary, perhaps. But as an individual, when a man or a woman tells me goodbye, I'm going to say to you, good night. Stay away forever.
I feel so touched.
It's so embarrassing. They should be embarrassed.
I feel so touched. The FCT minister was also on his media chat day before yesterday on Tuesday. Yeah. Also accused the religious leaders of, specifically accused, Cardinal Nayeko of being partisan.
Because he didn't come and sing their praises.
They knew who he supported in 2023, and they kept saying a whole lot of things. Then I stumbled on the former governor of Abia State, Senator Juzo Kalu, where he said that there's nothing wrong with the visit and the comment of those archbishops. Let's pick the call.
Hello. Good morning. Welcome to the show. What's your name, sir? And where are you calling from?
Nelson. I'm calling from Agbado.
Okay, go ahead and make your contribution, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nelson.
Honestly, I called the last time not knowing that the same Ope I know is the one I'm seeing on TV. Ope, you're a fine man. And I like the way you always represent your dressing code. I like that.
Thank you.
I wanted to call.
Thank you on Okwe's behalf.
I wanted to call on your birthday. But the line wasn't going through.
Yeah.
And you came and apologized that the fault was from your side. So I wanted to wish happy birthday. Maybe I can just do that now.
That is to her, not me.
Is it to Okwe?
No, it's to you.
No, to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much.
I tried calling that day, but the network wasn't. I don't believe his network it wasn't going through.
Thank
you. I wanted to wish happy birthday on that day. Happy birthday to you, man. Many more years to you.
Thank you so much.
More grace to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it, Mr. Nelson. Thank you. Okay, your turn now.
I'm with you.
Okay. See, if anybody explain Nigeria to you and you understand, that means you are mad.
I'm telling you.
Nobody can never understand Nigeria, especially this particular government. Look at what is happening in Osun State. Assuming Osun State is an APC state, they do what they teach. Like for what we say, they work like a dog. Back like a dog. It's a dog.
Mm.
And like what body said, it's Orishirishi. That is just it. Look at what is happening. A day and 10 days to election, they are freezing their accounts. And we even get EFCC the power to even freeze accounts in such states. So imagine the kind of country we are living in. Okay, look at the fake agency.
Fake agency.
Now, you invited everybody openly. When it is not done, you want to carry into backyard and ask a question.
Who does that?
This Nigeria, me, for my own part, me, I don't even, Nigeria, I don't take it serious. Whatever I see on TV, the one that will make me laugh, I will laugh. The one that will make me sad, I will sad. Because as it is now, the way Nigeria is, I just say, whatever happens, we just take it very like
Very sad.
Let's take it like that, because to me, I already give up. Because nothing good will come outside as long as this government is concerned. And imagine a whole president saying that his own is a do or die, he must be there by fire by force. And you expect that kind of person that he will be defeated.
To be committed to free election.
Let me tell the truth. I will not bother myself carry my PVC. Say I want to go and do any DC. I will do in my house. I will know that you on TV or radio. I will listen to you while you analyze what is happening. And I will be listening. That's what I will do. Because me, I already give up. Like seriously. The reason why I'm even watching TV today is because I've been at home, I've been sick. Not going to go to hospital, so I have to stay at home. I get my personal food so that I can be alright. That's why I have the opportunity to watch you. Even also, I'll be on the road driving now. So to tell you how it is, I try to go to hospital. When you give me the bill, I don't bother come back and stay in my house. I'll be watching you when you come on TV. At least you're talking to you and the lady over there. It cure me small like I'm getting better.
Thank you.
So but that is just to
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Nelson. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is a very good call. Fantastic. It touches me in so many ways. This is what we talked about at primary health care. I mean, if we're not spending money on health, we're not spending money on education,
on security,
we're not spending
on food security. So what are we spending?
What are we spending money on? And we keep seeing these figures. A man is at home because he doesn't have enough money to go to the hospital. That's a shame. But you see, I would feel ashamed because I have a conscience and I'm coming from a good background. I can boast that I am coming from a good background. That's why I feel ashamed. Okwe will feel some pain because he has a conscience. He was brought up properly. The Yoruba say, "Bibire koshe fowora." You can't spend money to buy a good foundation, to buy the values that have been instilled in you from your youth. You can't spend money to buy all of those. Unfortunately, and that's what we're saying. How does a man be at home and he can't go to the hospital because he doesn't have the money to spend? I'm ashamed for the government.
I'm even more pained tone that a lot of Nigerians are beginning to lose interest in governance
and hope,
and that is a bigger problem.
Interest and
because
hope.
If you look at how we got here, if you look at the people that fought for the democracy that we have today, none of these people, most of the people benefiting from this democracy. I'm going to ask a question. Where was Wike in 1996?
I don't know.
Where was Wike in 1997? Where was Wike where people were sent into exile, when journalists were being killed? Where was Wike where this same Catholic bishop held it ground? Where was Wike when we had people that stood for the democracy that is carrying his uncultured mouth? To piff and talk anyhow to the people that have held that country
condescendingly,
I watched Wicked Media Trap on Tuesday, and how he was talking to the religious, and I'm like, listen, have you gone back to read what the Catholic Church did for this democracy that we're enjoying today? The Pope John Paul, came to this country, addressed the late head of state, Abacha, gave Abacha 60 names of political detainees. Out of those people, Obasanjo was there. Names of people that have been persecuted politically. That was one of the biggest international pressure that the military faced in this country. It was the Catholic Church. When the military banned, political meetings, the Catholic Church came together. They started a national prayer for the safety of Nigeria. And they circulated it across every Catholic church, that every single mass, they must recite those prayers openly and publicly. That was the Catholic Church. The same Catholic bishops now went to see the president. Wike carried he sat on his seat on Tuesday and was accusing the leaders of the Catholic of being politically biased. The same Wike.
Okwe, you see Wike, leave him. Because you see, it is one needs to be very careful. My mom always said that he who kills by the sword
Would I by the same?
Would
See,
die
that's
by
the
the sword.
interpretation of the Constitution. If you kill somebody, you'll be killed.
And it is not the physical killing. What I'm trying to say is that whatever you do to people, watch your back. Because you don't know who's going to do the same thing to you. You dare talk down on, eminent religious fathers.
Institutions.
People who are,
they represent.
the eminent religious fathers who represent great institutions. You speak to them so carelessly. I just really wonder what it is that you think you have, that will protect you after this tenure, after this time. There's always going to be a timeout. We need to be careful the way we speak to people. It doesn't matter whether that person is rich or poor. It doesn't matter whether that person is old or young. We must speak to people politely, not carelessly, not rudely. We must always, bear in mind that it is important to approach people with the fear of God. I don't understand what's going on. But you know what, Okwe? You see on this table where we're talking about Wike, on this table where Wike has said he wanted to shoot journalists, it's on this same table. Have you forgotten that there are some things already that we're seeing? It's on this table.
We will open it.
We will open everything. Here. On this table.
God's
on this
table. Lives here.
Don't worry, we will open it.
We will open it.
We will open it.
Because it really hurt. And when you listen to people saying that, it's none of my business anymore. I'm not going to pick up my PVC to go.
What do we tell the man?
The people are lost.
What do we tell Mr. Nelson?
They are being governed.
We should tell him he must go.
The man said he wanted to go to the hospital. He got the bill. He went back home. And then we that we are here, we are not even paracetamol or Fensic. We are the one even making him healthy. Because we have a system where the people are tired. If you go to the bus stop, maybe after the close of work, if you go to the bus, you want to take public transport, observe the faces of the people standing at the bus stop. The people are really, really tired. And I'm not just talking about tired or physical tiredness. They are mentally drained. Because the gulf of class between the government and the governed is as wide as you can ever imagine. It's almost like the government don't even care about the people at the grassroots anymore. You go to the bus stop, people are now walking long distance so that they can walk halfway to where they are going to before they can afford the next transport. I posted something yesterday that we are underestimating how tough it is to live in this country. Even salary earners, they are living on borrowing. Do you know how many loan apps we have in this country that are pursuing people up and down too? Salary earners. And no, it's not that they are living extravagantly. They are still just to afford the basis.
Unfortunately. Hello, good morning, sir.
Calm down. Let him calm down. He needs to calm down.
Who is this, sir? Who is speaking, sir?
I'm still the same. Toye from Giwa.
Okay.
Madam, I told you when I called you earlier, I collected a Bola Ige free book with Awolowo. I collected Jakonde. Now, what is the matter with the country? I collected a lot of things from these fathers. Then, but we are just in one place. Fabio was telling us after election, the insecurity will go down.
Will go down.
So that you know where the insecurity
is coming from. Yeah.
You cannot travel. I always travel. When I was at OAU, I travel at midnight.
Yeah.
I enjoy myself.
Yeah.
You can't do that again. And we are just sitting down say that look at Morocco. If you want a World Cup, this 2026 World Cup, Moroccans fill all this stadia, enjoying themselves. They are enjoying. Go to Egypt, go to every other places. What is happening? And they will say, come to camp. God will bless you. What is God will bless industry that we are facing for how many years? They enjoy themselves. They are happy. They celebrate. Is it not the money? Which money are you carrying up and down? Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much. Okwe, I've been advised to advise you to calm down. You understand? But you know, as a human being, I understand your point. I mean, it's easier said than done. Okay, can we just move on the Guardian newspaper and round it up?
I think we're really pressed.
We're pressed for time, but let's
and
just
we
rush
have
through the other stories.
Yes, we
Let's
have.
rush. I know what we have, but
some-
let's
All right,
quickly
let me
finish
just
it.
rush through the Guardian.
Yes.
We're almost done with
Exactly.
the Guardian for this morning. Okay. Shore group protest in Abuja, Lagos against hardship and insecurity. Reps to sanction NILDSDG for alleged participation in APC primaries. Reps to sanction NILDSDG for alleged participation in APC primaries. Showore group protest in Abuja against hardship and insecurity. So we have a picture story. We have the governor of Ekiti State, Governor Yebanji, presenting the SS3 students of St. Lawrence College, Ado Ekiti. Well, the picture is not exactly very clear. Yes, the Prime Minister of Canada are also with the President and Chief Executive of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote. So that's much that the Guardian is giving us.
The
this
Prime
morning.
Minister of Canada came to visit Dangote.
Yes, now. Why you are big, you are big.
No. You don't get it.
Yes.
He didn't come to visit our president.
No.
Okay, well, that's the way Okwe has rounded up the Guardian newspaper. I think we need to call for a break right now, and when we return, there'll be
Okay,
more.
it's actually the office of the Prime Minister in Canada.
Oh, in Canada,
where
Dangote went to visit.
for government
Aha.
partnership and
Yeah,
strategic meetings.
I mean, you know, protocol is protocol.
course,
Do you understand?
Ladina, of course,
It's not.
of
It's
course.
not clicking. It's not falling in place. So I'm not getting it. All right. Okay. So we will take a break right now, and when we return, we have a couple of reports for you. So please stay tuned. There's good news in one of the reports. Welcome back to our discussion segment. It is titled Oshun Decides. Tension, trust, and the vote ahead. With the Oshun State governorship election now just days away, on August 15th, things on the ground have gotten considerably more tense. We've got a lot to unpack and accounts to freeze. Accusations flying in both directions, and a police commissioner trying to assure everyone the process will still be free and fair. Joining us now is our correspondent in Oshun, Jamiu Omoni. Good morning, Jamiu.
Good morning.
I hope everything in Oshun is calm.
Yes, also is calm, peaceful, and everybody's going on with their daily businesses.
Okay. Can you tell us, Okwe?
Mr. Jamiu, good to have you join us again.
He's a player always, sir.
Okay, it's 9 days to the election, and just like you heard in our intro, a lot to freeze and unfreeze. Yesterday, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission froze an account of the Osun State government on allegations of suspicious movement of funds and concerning around 11 billion from the Federation account and all of that. The governor gave a state broadcast yesterday evening and talked to us about the response to the news And how are the people of Osun taking it?
All right. Yesterday, the event started with the Commissioner for Information issuing a press release that the government would like to respond to probably a purported platform by the FCC to freeze the Osun State government statutory account. For in less than an hour after, we were called to for a press conference at the government house in Osogbo yesterday, where we were told that it was no longer a plan, that the account has been freezed, the First Bank account has been freezed, and they also alleged that some officials of the bank were also arrested by the anti-graft agency. Meanwhile, the fact of the matter is that the state government said it will be dragging the anti-graft agency to court for them to explain the reason why the actions should be taken at the time, insisting that the anti-graft agency does not have the right and the statutory mandate to freeze the state government account, stressing that it is likely going to slow down or affect the operation of the state government. Meanwhile, the state governor also said that it's a calculated attempt by the anti-graft agency to um, frustrate his re-election bid, insisting that it will not succumb to any agency or agency of government that is trying to disturb the operation of the state government. So far, so good. Those are what the government is reacting with. But stakeholders are saying that anyway, Osun has been in the news for probably sometimes now in financial related matters. You see, there was a time that one auditing firm, Sanity Board, was commissioned by the state government to audit the servers.
That was in January 2026.
Yes, definitely. It came with a report indicating that over 13 billion naira annually are being paid to ghost workers in the state. So there were back and forth between the government, and the government actually contracted the agency. So, however, so there were back and forth until the firm tried to probably make this public, and later said they will be inviting the FCC. And it was the state government that at some point said that he would be willing for AFCC. So many officials has been called, the Commissioner for Finance and some other people included. I don't know. So, but the state government failed to make this public until now that the anti-graft agency is their account, and that is when we are beginning to hear that the state government and the EFCC has been Florida for quite some time. So, also states still remain peaceful. Some stakeholders have commented on it. Some people are feeling like it was a wrong timing. However, the anti-graft agency insists that any time. But I want to tell you that yesterday, from some political quarters, there were circulations of transactions purported by the state government, 20,000, random 20,000 are being paid to some people, including core members. So all of these are still questions that the state government will need to answer as the time unfolds in Osun State.
Okay, now the EFCC isn't staying quiet either. In its own statement, the Commission says the account freeze is part of an ongoing investigation into the alleged diversion of about 11 billion naira in public funds, covering ecology funds, intervention funds, and FAAC allocations. They say the investigation has actually been running since March, just as you rightly said, with several officials, including the Accountant General, already questioned. The EFCC says it placed a post no debit order on the account after detecting suspicious transfers to several corporate entities starting August 2nd. And so this started in August 2nd, a couple of days ago. And it's firmly denying any connection to the upcoming elections, insisting it's simply doing its job, its statutory job. They've even said they're monitoring other state governments too as part of a wider transparency push. Jamiu, with both sides telling different stories, what does the picture actually look like from where you are standing?
Yes, definitely. Like I rightly mentioned the other time, that there have been some kind of financial allegations against the state government, and all of this puts together the decision of the state government to probably keep the process of the invitation and questioning of the official private is also a question of the state government will need to answer. And the common ground on Osun State, in Osun State right now, is that some
political commentators are saying that is the wrong timing, that despite the fact that the anti-graft agency has the right to take action against any financial or passive financial misappropriation, that 9 days to the election seems appear a bit political, but regardless, it is what it is. The state government is taking them to court, and in a few days, the court will have to determine whether the EFCC is doing the right thing or the state government also has some questions to answer. So, but the EFCC has spoken, the government has spoken, there will be development today, and the government will also tell us what actions they have taken and probably what the next line of action is likely to be. But what we have obtained so far is that the account is still frozen for now, and there are political allegations, counter allegations as to issues surrounding likely to be vote buying, where government are crediting some people 20,000 randomly. So in a few days to the election, in what is likely to be a kind of trying to secure their interest or secure their allegiance towards the election. So all of this put together is what we are going to monitor very keenly and try to get you updated.
All right, Mr. Jamiu, I mean, we understand how important it is for funds to be available for the day-to-day running, of government in Osun State, especially close to an election. What does a frozen statutory account, what does it actually mean to the government of Osun State as of today, especially as we begin to count down to an election that have been characterized by so many things, allegations of intimidation, allegations of, Edenization. So many things are brought into the political landscape of Osun State. What does this statutory account being frozen, what does it mean to the day-to-day running of Osun State?
Anyway, the government was clear yesterday by telling us that the account frozen is the account they used to pay salaries of workers, pensioners, and some other government or public service being delivered. However, today is the 6th of August, and of course, election is coming on the 15th of August. Within this period, no salaries will be paid, no pensions will be paid, and we hope that the people of Osun State, especially the public service in Osun State, will be in a safe and that all this drama are likely to come and end during the election period, and before their next salary will be due for payment, and we believe that this issue must have been resolved. So presently in Osun, I don't think there's any cause for alarm as to that account that is frozen.
Okay, Jamiu, the Commissioner of Police in charge of the Osun State governorship election has promised, heaven and earth, saying that it will be a free and fair election. He would get rid of those who could possibly disturb public peace. He's promising a level playing field for all the political actors. He's promising zero tolerance, for malpractice, intimidation, and whether compromise, anything that would distort the elections. And this came at a meeting with heads of police formations, divisions, and unity in Osogbo. Now we have this clip. We would like to watch the clip, and then we'll come back to you, Jamiu. Can we watch the report,
Gentlemen of the press and good people of Osun State, you are all aware of the many challenges Osun people and our government have been facing in the last few months. You know of the deliberate paralysis of the local government system, the open gun attack on Osun people, and the daily harassment and arrest of ACORD members. You are aware of constant police raids and arrests of ACORD leaders for no reason and without any warrant of arrest. Several ACORD members have been killed and 60 ACORD members have been arrested and taken to Abuja and detailed without any charges. All this intimidation and attacks were carried out on the order of Boyega Oyetola over an election his candidate cannot win. As if all this were not enough, this morning we received a letter from our banker forwarding a letter from the EFCC instructing the bank to freeze Osun State government account. This action was taken without any court order. We are supposed to be in democracy where the rule of law must always prevail. We will therefore not accept any situation where federal agencies trample on the constitutional right of subnational governments. This is a threat to democracy. If we all keep quiet and allow this illegality, very soon, whatever is left of our democracy will be fully eroded. All I ask is for the EFC chairman to explain to the good people of Osun State and to the Nigerians in general why he froze Osun State government account and show proof to support whatever reason he presents. These and all our illegalities being visited on Osun State is turning our democracy into a huge joke. I repeat, this and all other illegalities being visited on Osun State is turning our democracy into a huge joke. I am instructed by Attorney General to challenge this illegality at the Federal High Court, Osogbo. As for me, we are pushing ahead with our campaign, and I know by the special grace of God, we shall overcome.
You're welcome back. Well, that was the Osun State governor, telling us his own side of the story. All right, Jamiu, given everything else that's happened this week, the account freeze earlier, the allegations of politically motivated arrests, how much confidence do residents still have in the security assurance holdup?
Anyway, well, with what has been happening in Osun State so far, I think the police seems to be on top of the matters.
That's good.
Where initially, before they were before for security, we have some kind of killings, attacks here and there. But you see, in the last 1 week now, there have not been any attack in any way across the government of Osun State. So this is to tell you as if the police is getting on top of the matter. And with the deployment of the new Commissioner of Police for Election, Samuel Etaifo, he has come with the mandate to monitor every political activity to ensure that the game is played by the rule. And yesterday he was hosting the head of all police formation across the state and some tactical units, including the violent crime protection units. So, and the major point of discussion was that no complicit or compromise should be allowed from any stakeholder, including the police, assuring residents that political actors, residents, every one of them will be given a level playing ground for a peaceful, credible, and acceptable
Fair.
election. Meanwhile, I want to tell you on a good authority that I think the police has what it takes presently to conduct a free and fair and secure election, because in the last few months, over 300 motorcycles were distributed to all the police formation in the 30 local government and war area council in Modakeke. And of course, last month, the police also received another 93 brand new utility vehicles that were distributed across the divisional police formation as well as other tactical units, including even to the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force, the security, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, as well as other security agencies. This is to tell you that all these paraphernalia have always been made available to the police. We also boost their operation and ensure that their security of lives and property. So with this administrative statement coming directly from the CP election, that was even after he met the governor of the state, Ademola Adeleke, 2 days ago, where he assured him that the state will be peaceful before, during, and after the election. So I think everywhere is calm now. The political activities, including campaign, are in top gear, and I think some political criminals or elements of have been arrested in few days ago, and most of them are transferred out of the state, probably to keep them out of circulation till the end of the election. So all this put together seems to be as if the atmosphere is getting clearer, and we are going to have a peaceful election in the state.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jami. I just gave a very soft smile. And when you said all of those political troublemakers have been taken out of circulation, it sounded really funny. But Mr. Jami, beyond all of these, freezing accounts, security concerns, the whole talk of Edenization, the religious leaders taking side, traditional leaders taking side. There's been a whole lot that characterized this build up to the August 15 election of Osun State. But what do you think is in the minds of everyday voter in Osun right now?
Yes, and like we have said on this program sometimes ago, that Osun has a level of political consciousness and maturity. Even if something worse than this happen, people will still come out and vote. But regardless, it's taking a new dimension now. You see the major political players now are divided into three. Between producing the governorship candidate, producing another one, producing another. Especially is producing two governorship candidates. Of the East, Nigerian Salama, the of it is the so all of this put together will tell you that regardless of what happen, they will come out to vote. They will come out to vote. They will come out to vote. And also, if you're producing the two governorship candidates for the major political parties, so we also come out to vote. But just like I mentioned, that the security is becoming more improved, and we hope that it is better even when the election comes. So, common Autistic people are there, and that I think they are willing to participate in this election. So, every other factor put in place, the election will come and everybody will participate and it will be peaceful.
All right, thank you so much, Jamil. Finally, yeah, I mean, looking at August 15th fast approaching, what is your honest read on the mood? Does it look like the race would be a tight one, or does it look like a one-sided thing? Or let's know what you think, being someone who's on ground.
Also, I've never been in one-sided election environment before. Between former governor Olola and former governor Bisa Kandi, it was a keenly contested election between governor Olola and former governor Rao Barekwesola. It was also a tightly contested election, as well as between Rao Barekwesola and Omishori. It was as well between Adeleke and former governor Boyega Oyetola. It was so. This is the same thing we are witnessing in Osun State. It is not going to be a walkover for anybody. So there have been alignment, realignment. But having said that, every one of them is also expecting that a day to the election, on the election day, there's likely to be a dramatic turn. It is only God that knows where the pendulum will swing now. But what we witness in few days is also the involvement of religious leader, after we have condemned the public involvement of traditional rulers. The religious leaders are also coming to turn the pulpit of God and religious centers to political podium, and many stakeholders have condemned this. So other prominent stakeholders, they have come on board to say, okay, let everybody play the game by the rule. We see civil society organization, majorly the Osun Mastermind, coming out to say that it is a must for us stakeholders to advocate for the total and unconditional dissolution of all informal security outfits, to ensure that it is only the official security outfit that monitor the election to maintain the sanity and sanctity of the election. They also called for security to be beyond bias, to be neutral, and of course everybody has been saying this. And yesterday as well, Afrobeat star David Adeleke, who is also a cousin to the governor of Washington State, to address the press, calling on all eligible voters to come out and cast their votes, that they should not be intimidated, they should not fear, and that the state will be peaceful following and after the election. He also expressed optimism that his uncle, Governor Ademola Adeleke, will be elected based on what he described as his outstanding performance in the
He
last
said his uncle is the best governor the state has ever produced.
Yeah?
Can you hear me, Mr. Jamiu?
Yes, I can hear you.
He said his uncle is the best governor the state has ever produced.
Yes, he said in what he described as being the best governor the state has ever produced. Yes, obviously he has always said that, and even before his emergency has said that his uncle is the best governor, so he has the right to his opinion, and nobody will deny that with him. And of course, yesterday as well, the governor of Edo State, Monday Okpebholo, was in the state to hold indigents of Edo State who are residents of Osun State, and to tell them that it is time for them to throw their weight behind the candidate of the
APC.
Congressman, Bola Oyebamiji. And as well, his counterpart from Kogi State, Usman Odo, was also around yesterday to do the same thing, saying that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done a lot of things for people in Kogi, and supporting his candidate in Osun State is a way to reciprocate that good gesture. And all of this put together will tell you that activities are in top gear, and of course, anybody in Osun will see that Osun is fit at the moment. So, and we are hoping that the election will be peaceful.
Okay, so I think that an innovation. It's a new thing that's about to unfold. So perhaps there has been a brief to all the state governors, to move to Osun State and, bring their people onto the other side. Anyway, whatever the case, my prayer is may the best man win. Okay, over to you.
Well, I think at the end of the day, too, it's one of the advantages you get when you are in a governor, when you are in the party that has other governors, because during the election they would always come, mobilize. Some of them are assigned to cover senatorial. That's how it works. They say maybe the governor of so and so should cover, for instance, Osun West. So whatever financial needs they have and all of those. But thank you very much, Mr. Jamiu, for being a part of the conversation today. You've really, led us through this conversation. I think this is the second time you're joining us on the show. But we're going to be checking back with you as the election day approaches. 9 days from now, I'm sure that within the next maybe 48, 72 hours before the election, we'll have you give us more briefs again. Thank you very much, Mr. Jamiu Omoni.
Thank you so much, Jamiu. All right, Okwe, before we go into the next and final phase of this program today, my question is that now that EFCC has frozen the Osun State account, based on the fact that they believe, that they're doing vote buying, and EFCC has moved in, and they've frozen that account. I am hoping it's a good thing, It's a good thing if they're suspecting any foul play and they've moved in to do their job. It's just that the timing is wrong. But I am hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that the same thing would happen during the general elections. If anybody suspects vote buying, I hope the EFCC will move in swiftly to freeze the accounts of
suspicion is relative. It depends on who is suspecting who. And it depends on which investigation is open. The EFCC has said, this is just a coincidental situation. And there's already an open investigation. There was an audit committee that the Osun State government commissioned that gave a report in January. And then they indicted that there were over 8,000 ghost workers in the state. It was on national TV. Imagine you commissioning somebody to do a job for you, and then they gave a report, and then you are countering the report that they gave. So we keep our fingers crossed. But I really hope so too, especially when there are states that are suspecting that they want to buy vote and they are members of the ruling party.
All right, Okwe, we don't have the time. Let's move on to the final and last topic, and that's the good news for today. Relief on the way, Ogun's new road push. I remember a couple of days ago, no, that was last week, Friday, we had a royal father on television tell us exactly what he's going through in his community. And of course, it was backed up by calls from people who live in
Within
that
the community.
community who have experienced what he spoke about. And guess what? Now there is relief on the way. Ogun's new road push. We called on the governor of Ogun State, to ensure that something is done ASAP. And I wasn't optimistic. I was just saying, yeah, I was just saying it. I was just calling on him, because
We're glad there was a
I'm
response.
glad that there is a response right now. Good roads shouldn't be a luxury. They shouldn't be something communities have to beg for year after year while watching neighboring states move ahead. And yet, for residents along several corridors in Ogun State, that's exactly what it's felt like. We've spent time on this show speaking directly to those communities, the frustration, the flooding, the self-help efforts where residents pulled money just to fill potholes themselves. So this morning, we have some genuinely good news to share. The Ogun State Executive Council has approved the immediate reconstruction of 5 major roads across the state. One, the Ayobo Mopol Junction to Lafenwa Junction Road in Ota. Two, the Okwawa to Ijebu-Ode Road. Three, the Agowoye to Ijebu-Igbo to Abraham Adesanya Polytechnic Road. And four, phase 1 of the Odeda to Olugbo Road. And 5, the Agbala Road in Iperu.
Well, the first one, the Ayobo to Lafenwa Junction Road, is the one that we followed closely on this show. Just last week, we sat with the Onibudo of Ayetoro Budo, Ota, Oba Adewumi Odutala, to hear directly from him about what residents in that corridor have been going through. I think we have the reports ready. Let's take a look back at the conversation before this latest approval. Yes, I think, but more importantly, Tom, I'm grateful that it's been approved. I'm grateful that the Ogun State Executive Council, and more importantly, is even something we can celebrate, that we raised the spotlight about it. So when people say we should stop talking about the concerns, we understand they are worried about us, but we also have to do our jobs. But I'm more concerned about an administration that is going, an administration that will soon leave office in a period where election is coming, and there's a lot of political uncertainty around the election in Ogun State. It is one thing to approve projects. Would there be monies released for the execution of this project on time enough to start? Will the contractors mobilize to sites on time enough to start? Or is it going to be another of those projects where they will start and then another government will take over and then they will cancel or abandon the project and leave the people worse than they were before the project started? We've seen situations where contractors will come to site, scatter the road, do excavation, do everything. They will leave it. The rain will start. It becomes a problem. The road that people are even managing before now, it becomes a bigger problem.
Okay, so the concern right here is, continuity.
Exactly.
That's the concern. Okay, we hope that whichever or whoever it is that comes into power next will be able to continue if this project, is commissioned. If it's approved, we hope that would happen ASAP. We have had a track record of not continuing. Everybody wants to make a name for himself. And in doing that, we now abandon a whole lot of projects. And I think that the first thing that a new leader should do is get a list of the projects that have not been completed, ensure that they are completed, and then start new projects to your credit. And that's the way I think governance should be. But let's watch and see. So yes, it is good news coming from Ogun State at last, and we hope that even though we have actually begged for this one, we keep begging, coming cap in hand to beg the Ogun State governor. What if he said he didn't hear? What if his people did not, reach out to him? Nothing would have happened. So yeah, like Okwe said, we have to come on the table. We have to talk about these things. you know, out of 100, perhaps one or two may be heard and acted upon, but it's something, it's better than nothing, you know. So, and we are happy to do it because it's our job anyway. It's not just about, you know, us being paid for the job, it's also about us having a passion for the job. It's time for us to round up, but
But I
we'll
can
take
see
one more.
sneakily, the phone line
Yeah,
has been
we
on
the
fire.
the phone lines have been on fire. Unfortunately, we had to take the report from Jamu so that we know exactly where we are at right now. So sometimes when we don't take the calls, it's not because we don't want to, but because we have to also inform you about certain things that you may want to ask questions about. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my sister.
Yes, is this who's speaking?
Yeah, Uche calling back,
Uche,
ma. There is
yes.
something I want to tell you, ma. This issue of freezing this Oshu State governor's accounts, Oshu State account, is it right? If I may ask, because there are things they are doing in this country, we ask ourselves, is it the right thing to do? If somebody did not belong to your group or did not belong to your party, you will find a way to find, this is witch hunting, my sister. This is witch hunting. By now, it's very close to election. You came on a close government account. And there is no court order. Where does it happen?
Nigeria.
See, there are things that happen in this country. You will ask yourself question. What is going on? There is no smoke without fire. You understand? Because that person, okay, let me ask you, man. Look at all the governors. Where do they belong to? All of them are being decamping. Where they see that you refuse to decamp, they will find a way to block your way so that they will find a way to get access to that state. See, my sister, I am calling on the people of Oyo State. They should stand firm and fight for their rights. Because what is going on in this country is nothing to write about. The way our leaders are doing, they're not frustrating the people of that Oshu State because they know that what that man is doing to Oshu State, I am not there, but maybe what he's doing is good for them. We don't need somebody to be giving us rights again. We don't need somebody to be giving us a model of rights. Look at killing everywhere. We don't need it again. If you know that this governor is not doing the right thing in that state, in that Oshu, let Oshu State vote him out. But if they know he's working, they should stand by him. Whether they froze their account, they do not froze their account, they should stand by the right person they know. Because we know what the governments are doing. We know what they're doing. The EFCC should continue. Is it the only... If really EFCC is working, look at the all other people that have been doing, looting money, doing all sorts of things. Are they going after those people? See, we should tell ourselves the truth.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Uche. That's all the time that we have left. Thank you for being the last caller on the program. Thank you to all the callers, you know, that have made this program, you know, worth the while. Well, Uche is asking a question. Is this not witch hunting? They say if it walks like a dog, if it talks like a dog, if it wags like a dog,
It's a dog.
it's a dog. You know, so
It's a dog.
that's the true position. Too sensitive to talk about. I think that we are not looking at the sensitivity of the timing. If this had happened before, if this is something that had been noticed before, long before now, why didn't we move in at that time? These are the questions people are asking. These are the things that people are insinuating, that no, this is not normal, this is not fair. But you know the truth, human beings, especially Nigerians who are so resilient, will rise above all of this threats. Like he said, Osun State indigents will stand their ground, and I know that the best man will win. He asked a question, okay? He said all the people who have been embezzling money, you know, and in the opposition party, you know, have EFCC moved them, you know, taken them into custody? These are questions that I can answer right now. But the truth is that we need to be careful about what we do and the signals that we're sending to the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, that's the way I'd like to round up. I don't know if Okwe has anything to say.
These days, things barely move me because I'm a Nigerian. So I'm getting used to somehow normalizing abnormalities. So when he asked that, where does this thing happen? I responded, I
He said
said,
Nigeria.
So welcome to Nigeria. My name is Okpeyemi Akin. Amazing session we've had on the show today. Thank you so much, Mr. Jami Omoni, for joining us all the way from Oshogbo, the state capital of Osun. Today, I will keep the conversation going. Join us again tomorrow for the last edition of the show for the week. Stay with us. And always remember that the task of rebuilding this country begins with you and I. Stay committed. Thank you.
All right, my name is Tom. I'd really like to thank those in the master control room and everybody who has made this a success. I'd like to thank Jamie, who sent his report, and had made out some time to speak with us. I'd like to thank our stakeholders, the callers who make this program, what it is. Also to thank my co-host, Okpeyemi Akiode. Thank you to everyone who's been watching. It is the thing we know how to do best. And by the grace of God, God willing, giving us life and giving us strength, giving us a good voice, giving us good health, we will come back here again tomorrow to do the same thing. But before I go, I would like for you to stand in front of the mirror, take a look at yourself. Is there anything you need to change? You who's freezing the accounts of Osun State, and you who's not reporting to the people, exactly what's going on in your state. I, who's sitting down here, we all need to take a look at ourselves in the mirror. Anything that is not right that we need to change, let's change it ASAP so that we can make the world, especially Nigeria, a better place to live in. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you again tomorrow. God bless you.